Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, FluentRise Podcast. Today's topic is one that can change the way you speak, the way you feel, and even the way people see you. We are talking about how to speak English confidently in public. Pause. And let me say this first. If you get nervous while speaking English in front of people, you are not alone. A lot of learners can speak English in their mind, but the moment they stand in front of others, their confidence disappears. Their heart starts beating faster. Their mind goes blank. Their words get stuck. Does that sound familiar? Think about it. Maybe you know English grammar. Maybe you understand English videos. Maybe you can even speak well with one friend or at home. But in public, in front of classmates, colleagues, strangers, or a crowd, something changes. Suddenly, the same English feels difficult. Why does this happen? Because speaking English in public is not only about language, it is also about pressure, fear, self-doubt, and the fear of making mistakes. And today, I want to help you break that fear. Not with difficult theory, not with boring rules, but with real, practical, simple ideas that you can actually use. Okay, so stay with me because by the end of this episode, you will understand how to sound more confident, how to calm your mind, and how to speak English with a stronger presence in public. Okay, short pause. First, let us understand something very important. Confidence does not come before speaking. Confidence comes because of speaking. Okay, many people wait until they feel fully ready before they speak. They think, when my English becomes perfect, then I will speak confidently, but that moment may never come. Yeah, because perfect English is not the goal. Clear communication is the goal. Think about a child learning to walk. The child does not wait until perfect balance arrives. The child tries, falls, stands again, and slowly learns to move with confidence. Speaking English is similar. You do not become confident by thinking about confidence. You become confident by using your voice again and again, even when it feels uncomfortable. Pause. Now, let me ask you something. When you speak in public, what scares you the most? Is it making grammar mistakes? Is it forgetting words? Is it pronunciation? Is it people laughing at you? Is it the fear that others will judge your English? Think about it. For most people, the biggest fear is not English itself. It is the fear of embarrassment. That fear is powerful. It can make even a simple sentence feel heavy. But here is the truth. Most people are not paying as much attention to your mistakes as you think they are. They are usually thinking about themselves, their own words, their own image, their own worries. So the moment you stop imagining every listener as a judge, your pressure becomes lighter. But you are not performing for perfect approval. You are communicating with real human beings. And real human beings respect clarity, honesty, and confidence more than perfect grammar. And short pause, let me share a small story. Imagine two people standing in front of a group. The first person speaks perfect English, but he keeps looking down, speaking very softly, and seeming afraid of every word. The second person makes a few small mistakes, but speaks clearly, looks at the audience, and sounds calm and sure. Who do you think people will trust more? Most likely the second person. Why? Because confidence changes the way your words feel. When you speak with confidence, people listen differently. They feel your presence. They feel your energy. They feel that you believe in what you are saying. And that is exactly what you need to build. Pause. So how do you start? The first step is simple. Stop trying to sound like a perfect native speaker. This may sound surprising, but it is true. A lot of learners destroy their confidence because they compare themselves to movies, TV hosts, or fluent speakers who have spoken English for many years. But you are not in competition with them. You are on your own journey. Your goal is not to sound like someone else. Your goal is to sound like yourself, clearly and confidently. When you try too hard to be perfect, your brain becomes tense. When your brain is tense, your speech becomes slow. When your speech becomes slow, you panic. And when you panic, you forget words. So instead of chasing perfection, chase clarity, speak in a simple way, Can't use short sentences, use easy words, be direct, be calm. That is how real confidence begins. Okay, short pause. Now let's talk about the second thing. Your body language matters. Even before you say a word, your body is already speaking. If you stand like you are afraid, people will feel that. If you avoid eye contact, people will feel that. Okay? If your shoulders are closed and your voice is weak, your confidence will also look weak. But if you stand straight, breathe slowly, and look at people calmly, your mind also starts feeling stronger. Now, this is important. Your body can train your mind. So before you speak, remember this. Keep your posture open. Keep your head up. Breathe from your chest and stomach, not from panic. And pause before you begin. Pause. That pause is powerful. Many people rush to start speaking because they are nervous. But a rushed start creates more fear. Instead, take 1 second, look at your audience, breathe, then begin. That one small pause can make you feel much more in control. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how some speakers seem calm even before they say much? That calmness is not magic. It comes from preparation and self-control, and you can develop it too. Pause. The next idea is very practical. Prepare a few easy opening lines. If you know you may have to speak in public, do not wait until the last minute. Prepare simple opening sentences in advance. For example, good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. Today, I want to share a few thoughts on this topic. I would like to begin with a simple example. These lines are easy, but they help you start smoothly. And once you start smoothly, your fear begins to reduce. Because often, the hardest part is not the full speech, it is the first sentence. Once you begin, your brain starts moving. Once your brain starts moving, your confidence starts growing. A short pause. Another important point is this. Do not fight your nervousness. Learn to manage it. Feeling nervous before speaking in public is normal. Even experienced speakers feel it. The difference is they do not let nervousness control them. Instead, they use it as energy. Yes, nerves can become energy. A little nervousness can sharpen your focus. It can make your voice stronger. It can make you more alert. The problem is not nervousness. The problem is believing that nervousness means failure. It does not. It only means you care. And caring is not weakness. Caring is human. Pause. So the next time you feel nervous, tell yourself, I am not in danger. I am just speaking. I do not need to be perfect. I need to be clear. I can speak one sentence at a time. These small self-talk lines can calm your mind before you speak. And when your mind is calm, your English becomes easier to use. Think about it. In the next part, we will go deeper into how to train your mind, how to answer without freezing, and how to build real confidence step by step in public speaking. But before that, remember this one thing, confidence is not a gift given to only a few people. It is a skill, and skills can be learned. You do not need to become fearless. You only need to keep going, keep speaking, and keep improving. Pause. So today, I want you to begin with one promise to yourself. I will stop waiting for perfect English. I will start speaking with simple English. I will stop fearing mistakes. I will focus on being understood. That is the beginning of real confidence. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is part of our episode on how to speak English confidently in public. If you listened carefully to part E, you already know something important. Confidence does not appear first. Action comes first. And confidence follows. Pause. Now let's continue with something that almost every English learner experiences, but very few people talk about openly. The fear of your mind going blank. Have you ever had this happen? You prepare what to say. You practice alone. Everything sounds good, but then someone suddenly asks you a question in English. And your brain becomes completely empty. No words, no ideas, only silence. Short pause. If this has happened to you, I want you to understand something. Your English did not disappear. Your brain became overloaded. Your brain became overloaded. There is a big difference. And when you become nervous, your mind starts doing too many things at once. Am I speaking correctly? What if I make mistakes? What if they judge me? Should I use better vocabulary? Did I pronounce that correctly? And because your brain is busy checking everything, speaking becomes difficult. This is why confidence in public speaking is not about knowing more words. It is often about reducing mental pressure. Yeah. Think about it. So here is a simple technique. I call it, think, pause, speak. Most learners try, quote, think, panic, speak fast. That creates confusion. Instead, think, take 1 second, then speak. Example, someone asks, what do you think about learning English? Do not rush. Pause. Then answer, I think learning English is important because it helps people communicate globally, simple, clear, natural. Okay, that 1 second pause can completely change how confident you sound. Pause. And here is something surprising. Confident speakers pause more than nervous speakers because confident people trust themselves. Nervous people try to fill silence quickly. But silence is not weakness. Silence is control, short pause. Now let's talk about another major problem. Translating in your head. This is one of the biggest reasons people struggle in public. You can imagine this process. Your idea starts in your native language, then your brain translates, then checks grammar, then translates again, then finally speaks too many steps. No wonder speaking feels stressful. Instead, train yourself to think in simple English. Not advanced English, simple English. For example, you see rain, do not think, how do I translate this? Think directly, it's raining, you see food, think, this looks delicious. You wake up, think, I need to get ready. Small English thoughts every day slowly create faster speaking. Pause. This is a challenge. For the next Arterseath hours, try creating tiny English thoughts, no pressure, just simple observations. I am walking. This room is quiet. I need water. That was funny. This trains your brain to stop depending on translation. And when you stop translating, public speaking becomes easier. Think about it. Now, I want to talk about something powerful. Your audience wants you to succeed more than you think. This changes everything. Most people imagine the audience sitting there thinking, let's find mistakes. But reality is often different. People usually want to understand you, they want communication, they are not counting every grammar error. Think about when someone speaks to you in another language. Do you expect perfection? Probably not. You appreciate effort? Others often feel the same way. Short pause. Here's a story. Imagine 2 students. One student knows more English but stays silent. Another student speaks with mistakes but participates. After 6 months, who improves faster? Almost always the person who speaks, because language grows through use, not through hiding. Every public conversation becomes practice, every small speech becomes training, every mistake becomes a pause. Now let's discuss something practical. The Sen level confidence method, level E, speak alone, talk to yourself. Describe your room, explain your day, speak for 1 minute. No audience, no pressure. Level R, speak to one person, talk to a friend, ask simple questions, practice conversations, small audience. Level Sen, speak publicly, answer in meetings, join discussions, introduce yourself, record videos, gradual exposure. Do not jump from silence directly into a stage. Build confidence layer by layer. Short pause. And please remember, do not measure progress like this. Hey, did I speak perfectly? Measure it like this, Did I speak more than before? That question changes everything because improvement is not perfection. Improvement is progress. Pause. Now let me ask you another question. What happens immediately after you make a mistake? Again, do you stop? Do you apologize? Do you lose confidence? Many learners do, but confident speakers do something different. They continue. Example, if you say, he go to school, do not panic. Just continue. He goes to school every day, move forward. Do not make every mistake a disaster. People remember communication more than corrections. Think about it. Another secret. Speak slower. Many learners believe fast English sounds fluent. Not true. Fast speaking often creates more mistakes. Slow speaking gives you more control, better pronunciation, more confidence. So next time, reduce the speed by just 10%, not robotic, just calmer. You may immediately sound stronger. Pause. Before we end part R, I want to give you a small public speaking exercise. Tonight, stand in front of a mirror, look at yourself, speak for 60 seconds in English about your day. Do not stop, do not restart, do not correct every mistake, just continue. Then tomorrow, do it again and again. Because confidence is built through repetition, not motivation alone. Short pause. In part 10, we will go deeper into how to sound more fluent, how to keep conversations going, how to stop caring about judgment, and how to develop a naturally confident English-speaking personality in public. Until then, remember, your voice deserves to be heard. You do not need perfect English to speak confidently. You only need the courage to begin. Again, until now, we talked about fear, confidence, public speaking pressure, overthinking, and learning how to speak without waiting for perfect English. Now we are going deeper into something that changes everything. How do some people sound naturally confident even when their English is not perfect? Pause. Many people believe confidence comes from vocabulary. They think if they learn thousands of English words, confidence will automatically appear. But real life shows something different. You have probably met people who speak simple English but sound confident and comfortable. At the same time, some people know advanced English but still hesitate while speaking. The difference is not language level. The difference is trust. Confident speakers trust themselves to continue even if they make mistakes. Short pause. Here is something powerful to remember. People do not connect with perfect speakers. People connect with real speakers. When someone speaks naturally, shows personality, smiles, and shares ideas openly, listeners feel comfortable. But when someone tries too hard to sound perfect, the conversation starts feeling tense. So instead of asking yourself, how can I impress people? Start asking, how can I connect with people? That small change can completely transform your speaking. Think about it. Now imagine this situation. You are speaking English with a group of people. Suddenly, you forget a word. What happens next? Most learners freeze. Their mind says, oh no, I forgot the word. Then panic starts. But confident speakers use another strategy. They explain instead of stopping. For example, imagine you forget the word umbrella. Instead of becoming silent, you can say, the thing people use when it rains. Conversation continues. Communication wins. This is called flexibility, and flexibility creates confidence. Pause. One of the fastest ways to become confident in public is to stop trying to create perfect sentences in your head. Your job is not to produce beautiful English. Your job is to express ideas because conversations move fast. If you spend 10 seconds creating one perfect sentence, the moment passes. Instead, think simple. Say, I agree, I think differently. And, in my opinion, that reminds me of something. These simple bridges help you keep speaking naturally. Short pause. Another thing that improves confidence is becoming comfortable with small conversations. Many people wait for big opportunities to practice English, but confidence usually grows through small moments. Talking to a shopkeeper, introducing yourself, asking one question, giving one opinion, joining one discussion. Every small interaction teaches your brain, I can do this, and your brain slowly stops treating public speaking as danger. Think about it. Let me ask you something. Do you celebrate your progress, or do you only notice your mistakes? Ken? Because many learners speak for 5 minutes successfully and then focus on one small error. That habit destroys confidence. Cow. Imagine learning to drive and only remembering every small mistake while ignoring the fact that you reached your destination. Okay, that would feel terrible. Language works the same way. Start noticing wins. Maybe today you spoke one extra sentence. And maybe today you maintained eye contact. Maybe today you did not translate. That counts. Progress deserves attention. Pause. Now let's talk about energy. When people say someone sounds confident, they are often not talking about grammar. Kuka, they are talking about energy. Energy in speaking means, speaking clearly, showing interest, using natural expressions, having a calm voice. You do not need to become loud. And confidence is not loudness. Yay. Some of the most confident speakers speak quietly and calmly. Confidence sounds relaxed. Short pause. There's another habit that quietly destroys public speaking confidence. Comparing yourself. You watch someone online speaking beautiful English, then you think, my English is bad. But what you do not see is their years of practice, their mistakes, their uncomfortable moments, their slow progress. You only see the result. King, do not compare your chapter R with someone else's chapter R, sirs. Your only comparison should be, am I better than last month? That question matters. Think about it. Now, I want to give you a simple challenge. For the next 7 days, speak English for 5 minutes daily, not study. Speak, talk about your day, share opinions, explain something, record yourself, do not judge, just speak. 5 minutes every day becomes 35 minutes a week. And small actions repeated consistently become visible confidence. Pause. Before we finish part 10, remember this, confidence is not becoming fearless. Confidence is speaking even when fear is still present. You do not wait for confidence to appear, you build it. One sentence, one conversation, one moment at a time. And one day, without realizing it, you will speak in public and think, wait, I actually did it. Short pause. If you've reached this point, you've already learned something important. Confidence is not something you wait for. Confidence is something you build. And now we are going into the next level, how to sound more fluent, speak longer without getting stuck, and create the feeling of confidence when speaking English in public. Pause. Let's begin with a question. Have you ever listened to someone speaking English and thought, oh, wow, this person sounds so fluent. Then later you realize their vocabulary was not advanced, their grammar was not perfect. Okay, so why did they sound fluent? Because fluency is not speaking difficult English. Fluency is the ability to keep moving. That's it, the ability to continue, short pause. Many learners think fluency means speaking fast. Okay, but fast speaking and fluent speaking are not the same thing. Sometimes fast speakers sound unclear. Okay. Meanwhile, someone speaking slowly and naturally sounds much more confident. Fluency comes from flow, not speed. Imagine a river. You count. A river does not rush everywhere. It simply keeps moving. That is how your English should feel. Steady, simple, continuous. Think about it. Now let's talk about one habit that immediately improves public speaking. Stop editing every sentence while speaking. This habit quietly destroys confidence. You start speaking, then your brain interrupts. Wrong grammar. You restart, then, maybe another word, you restart again. Soon the conversation becomes stressful. Instead, try this rule. Speak first. Improve later. Conversation is not an exam. Real communication moves forward. Pause. Here is a small example. Instead of stopping and thinking, was that sentence perfect? Continue. Keep the message alive because confidence grows from momentum. Okay? The more you continue speaking, the easier the next sentence becomes. Short pause. Now let me share something practical. When you feel stuck during speaking, use what I call the bridge technique. Bridge phrases by your brain time. Examples? That's a good question. Let me think for a second. In my experience, what I mean is actually, simple phrases. but they help conversations continue naturally, and when conversations continue, confidence grows. Think about it. Another reason people struggle in public is because they answer too briefly. Someone asks, how was your day? And they answer, no. Good. Conversation ends. Instead, train yourself to expand. Try this pattern. Answers, reason, extra detail. Example, how was your day? Answer, it was good. Reason, I finished an important task, extra detail. And after that, I relaxed for a while. Okay. Now suddenly you sound more natural, more expressive, more confident. Pause. Now let's talk about pronunciation. Many learners become afraid because they think, my accent is not perfect. But listen carefully. Your goal is not to erase your accent. Your goal is to become understandable. There are confident English speakers from all over the world, different accents, different backgrounds, different styles. And people remember your message more than your accent. So instead of asking, oh, do I sound native? Now ask, can people understand me clearly? That question creates freedom. Short pause, and here's something that helps immediately. Open your mouth more when speaking. It sounds simple. But nervous people often speak quietly and with tension. Relax your jaw. Speak clearly. Finish words. Okay. Allow your voice to come out naturally. Confidence can sometimes start with small physical changes. Think about it. Now I want to discuss something deeper. Public speaking is not only speaking to others. It is speaking to yourself. Every day, your mind creates messages. I'm bad at English. I always forget. I can't speak publicly. If you repeat those thoughts long enough, your brain starts believing them. Okay. So start changing the internal conversation. Replace, I'm nervous with, I'm learning. Replace, I always fail with, I'm improving. Replace, my English is weak with, my English is growing. Small language changes create different energy. Pause. Here's another challenge for you this week. Record a 2-minute voice note in English every day. Topic ideas, your goals, your favorite movie, your daily routine, something you learned. Do not delete recordings. Listen after 7 days. You may notice something surprising. You are improving more than you think. Because progress often becomes visible only when we compare over time. Short pause, and now let's talk about confidence in groups. Many people can speak one-on-one, but become quiet in groups. If that happens to you, do not try to dominate, just participate, say one sentence, then two, then one opinion. Build gradually, confidence expands step by step, not all at once. Think about it before we finish part 6. Remember this, fluent speakers are not people who never get stuck. They are people who keep going after getting stuck. They pause, they continue, they communicate. And that is exactly what you can learn. Your English does not need to become perfect overnight. Your only job is to keep using it. One conversation, one day, one improvement at a time. Pause. So far, we've talked about confidence, fear, fluency, mindset, public speaking pressure, and how to keep speaking even when your English is not perfect. Okay. Now we're moving into something deeper, because for many people, the real problem is not English. The real problem is this question, what will people think about me? Pause. Think about this honestly. How many times have you stayed silent? Not because you had nothing to say, but because you were afraid of sounding wrong. Maybe you knew the answer, maybe you had an idea, maybe you wanted to join the conversation, but you stayed quiet, not because of English, because of fear of judgment, fear of mistakes, fear of looking uncomfortable. Short pause. And this fear is powerful because it feels real. Your mind creates stories. They'll think my English is weak. They'll laugh. They'll notice every mistake. They'll think I'm not smart. But here's something important. Most people are not analyzing you as much as you imagine. People are usually focused on themselves, their own words, their own appearance, their own worries. Think about it. Now imagine 2 futures. Future 1, you stay silent to avoid embarrassment. You protect yourself. But months later, your English stays the same. Future 2, you speak, you make mistakes, you feel uncomfortable, but over time, you become stronger. Which future moves you forward? Growth almost always begins with temporary discomfort. Pause. I want to tell you a simple truth. Every confident English speaker you admire has already lived through awkward moments. They forgot words, they made mistakes. They felt embarrassed, but they kept going. You usually see the confidence, you do not see the practice behind it. Short pause. Now let's talk about something called public speaking presence. Presence means people feel your confidence even before your words become perfect. And presence comes from 3 simple things. Calmness. Clarity, connection. Let's break them down. Calmness means you do not rush, you breathe, you pause, you stay relaxed. Clarity means you say simple things clearly. Connection means you focus on helping people understand instead of trying to impress them. These 3 things together create a strong speaking presence. Pause. Here is an exercise. The next time you speak publicly, do not try to impress everyone. Choose one person. Speak as if you are explaining something to one person. That small mental shift reduces pressure immediately. Suddenly, the room feels smaller, your voice becomes more natural, your confidence becomes more real. Think about it. Now, let's discuss daily habits, because confidence is not built in one motivational moment. It is built in ordinary days. Here are 5 simple daily habits. Habit number 1. Speak English out loud every day, not silently. Your mouth needs practice too. Habit number 2. Read for 5 minutes and repeat sentences. Feel the rhythm. Habit number 3. Describe things around you in English. Simple observations. Habit number 4. Record your voice once a week. Track progress. Habit number 5. Celebrate improvement, not perfection. And short pause. Another thing that changes public speaking. Stop apologizing for your English. Some learners start like this, sorry, my English is bad. Immediately their confidence drops. Instead, start naturally, speak and people care more about your message than your disclaimer. You do not need permission to speak. Pause, and remember, making mistakes while speaking English is not failure. Silence caused by fear is what slows progress. Every sentence spoken gives experience, every conversation gives growth, every public moment teaches something. Think about it. There is another hidden secret. Confident speakers do not always feel confident. Sometimes they feel nervous too. But they speak anyway. That changes everything because courage is not feeling fearless. Courage is moving while fear still exists. And every time you do that, your confidence becomes stronger. Short pause. Now I want you to imagine yourself 6 months from today. You walk into a room. Someone speaks to you in English, you smile, you answer calmly, you continue naturally, no panic, no overthinking, no hiding. That version of you is not created overnight, it is built through small daily actions, starting now. Pause. Before we finish part 2, remember this. Your voice does not become stronger because you wait, it becomes stronger because you use it. Speak even if your voice shakes. Speak even if your sentence is simple. Speak even if you are still learning because confidence grows while you speak, not before. If you've stayed with me until this point, I want to say something first. You already done something important, you showed up, you invested time in improving yourself, and that matters. Because confidence begins long before the moment you speak. It begins the moment you decide that your voice deserves to be heard. Pause. Throughout this episode, we talked about many things. We talked about fear, we talked about fluency, we talked about overthinking, we talked about speaking without perfection, we talked about mindset. But now I want to bring everything together into one simple idea. Confident English speakers are not different people. They simply developed different habits. Short pause. Think about someone who speaks English confidently. What do they usually do? They speak regularly, they accept mistakes, they continue conversations, they practice publicly, they focus on communication. None of those things require special talent, they require repetition, and that means these skills are available to you too. Think about it. Now I want to ask you something. Imagine your future self 1 year from now. Akan, that version of you speaks English naturally, answers confidently, expresses ideas clearly, participates in conversations. What did that future version do differently? Did they magically wake up fluent? No, they practiced. They kept showing up. They stopped waiting. They became comfortable being imperfect. That's the difference. Pause. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing, when my English becomes good, I'll become confident. But the truth is usually the opposite. You become confident first by using English, and then your English improves faster. Kent, confidence opens the door, practice walks through it, short pause. I want to leave you with a new rule. From today, stop asking, what if I make mistakes? Start asking, what if I improve? Stop asking, what will people think? And start asking, what experience will I gain? Stop asking, am I good enough? Start asking, am I moving forward? Questions shape your mindset, and your mindset shapes your actions. Think about it. Now, let's create something together. A small promise, say this to yourself. I do not need perfect English. I only need courage to speak. I will not wait for confidence. I will create confidence. I will speak one sentence at a time. I will keep improving. Pause, and remember, there will still be uncomfortable days. Days when you forget words. Days when you feel nervous. Days when conversations don't go well. That does not mean you are failing. That means you are practicing. Growth is rarely dramatic. Most of the time, it looks like small improvements repeated quietly. Until one day, people say, your English improved so much, but they don't see all the small moments that created it. You will. Short pause. Before we end this episode, I want to give you one final challenge. Okay? For the next 7 days, speak English publicly at least once every day. Ask one question. Share one idea. Okay? Start one conversation, record one voice note, do something that makes your English visible. Small action every day, 7 days. Then notice how different you feel, because confidence is not built in theory, it is built in real moments. Can you pause? And if today you still feel nervous, that's okay. You do not need to remove fear completely. You only need to stop letting fear decide for you. Your English journey does not belong to fear. It belongs to you. Think about it. So the next time you have a chance to speak, take it. And not because you are perfect, but because your voice matters. And every sentence you speak becomes proof that you are growing. Yeah. Thank you so much for spending this time with me here on FluentRise podcast. Okay. If this episode helped you, keep practicing, keep learning, and most importantly, keep speaking. Okay, I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, stay confident, stay curious, and keep rising.